So I am the marketing guy at Hive Streaming. I'll tell you a bit about Hive Streaming at the end, but just to let you know, we're based out of Stockholm, and I run marketing from down here in San Diego. I've been involved in the streaming space for a number of years. Was actually at the first streaming media conference in a basement in San Francisco back in, was it 98 or something like that. So been around this scene for a long time. But this is about rethinking enterprise video solutions. It's about the distribution of video within the enterprise and some of the trends we're seeing. This clicker isn't working. Something's locked. Wait a sec, if I go into presentation mode, that probably will help. Try that. Yep, here we go. So streaming adoption, as I'm sure we're all aware, is rising. About one of the only analyst firms that specializes in this space and gets pretty deep into it is Winehouse Research. And they've seen a steady growth in enterprise streaming and the utilization of it. We're witnessing that at Hive ourselves, and I'll go into a little more detail about that soon. So more than 1/4 of organizations surveyed use live online video at least weekly, and that's has been steadily increasing, I think, ever since the 2000s, but in the last year or so it seems to have grown, and I'll give a few reasons, accelerated that growth, and I'll give a few reasons for that in a minute. Why is there a strong demand for video? 4 out of 5 surveyed overall agree that organizations should use more video, and C-level executives, about 58%, strongly agree that organizations should do more to capitalize on video. And why is that the case? Well, from our perspective and what we're seeing in the market is there's an increasing desire for leadership to connect with their employees. There's a need to rally internal audiences around shared interests and topics. Broadcast announcements to employees, customers, and partners are increasing, and delivering impactful training with agility across organizations of all sizes is growing. And one of the fundamental drivers of this, I think, is a desire for C-level leadership, especially, to be transparent. Retaining employees in this day and age is a challenge with full employment, and I think a lot of the reason why companies are turning to video is that that's what millennials and the next generation are used to, right? They're used to viewing video on their desktops, they're used to viewing video on their devices. And they don't want to get up out of their desks, they don't want to trek across in the snow to a central town hall to listen to communication from the CEOs or the C-level executives. So companies are increasingly turning to video. One of the companies we work closely with, Microsoft, this is a graphic example of the increase in video utilization. In terms of their broadcasting that they're doing within Microsoft itself, that's the rate of growth they're seeing, nearly a 400% increase in the utilization of broadcast video within the Microsoft enterprise, both internally and externally. And one of the big reasons for this, of course, is that the growth in the utilization of UC tools brings video into everyone's tool set and brings it into the applications that people are living in. And so, the desire to be able to communicate not just with audio, but with also video, people now have the tools at their disposal. So what are the elements of the enterprise video ecosystem? The key elements of the video ecosystem range from the content creation tools, whether the cameras, all the way through to the distribution. It's a value chain that typically and historically enterprises have turned to end-to-end solutions. I think one of the major trends that we're seeing is that organizations are now turning to modular solutions. I'll go into that in a bit more. Enterprise, instead of buying end-to-end solutions, they're turning to the best of breed components in each of those components of the video ecosystem. So the old way was use case determined deployment, where companies would go to vendors and buy an end-to-end solution. So for example, whether it's webcasting, whether it's an internal YouTube solution, internal content management, buy an end-to-end solution. Now, and historically, the stability of those solutions were valued, so they'd go to one vendor where there was one throat to choke. Whether it be for training, all hands meetings, or webinars. Now what we're seeing is the deployments are being formatted tailored to suit the corporate environment. And a lot of this is being driven by the growth in hosted and the cloud. And SaaS is introducing new opportunities for modularity. And I think modularity is being driven in a lot of cases by many of the vendors in the space are now starting to work with each other. The various components of the video ecosystem, the vendors of each have published APIs that people can plug into. And so now it's easier for organizations to pick best of breed solutions for each of the components of the ecosystem rather than having to buy an end-to-end solution. So we've we recently published a white paper that I'll give you the URL to, but some of the companies that we interviewed for this process of developing the white paper, historically, one of them, a large IT company, bought an end-to-end solution for their internal video, the YouTube, the encoding of the video, all the way through from lens to screen. That proved to be too rigid for them. And so now what they're doing is replacing that end-to-end solution with components that they can tie in. Okay, I want to be able to use my webcasting tool to webcast, but the technology that's being used to distribute that video that used to be part of the end-to-end solution, I want to be able to use that for other components as well. The internal YouTube, I want to be able to use it for webcasting, I want to be able to use it for other things as well. One of the area which we specialize in is creating smarter networks for streaming, and especially within the enterprise. The networking of video is a key consideration in embracing and adopting streaming solutions. And as you can see from Wayne House research, the ability to distribute video without harming the corporate network, the challenges around distributing video are key issues enterprises face in deploying streaming within the enterprise. Networking is one of their primary concerns. So there's different strategies that can be used, or different tools that can be used for distributing video within the enterprise. You can use your existing network and deploy caching boxes or equipment in your head ends, such as IP multicast is one of those techniques. You can deploy an overlay network to distribute video in each of your subnets, deploy caching boxes in each of your head ends, which is called an enterprise CDN, or you can do, which is what our product is, which is a pure software distribution approach, where you deploy software which helps you network the video. And that is PDP, UDP distribution. So just a little detail on how P2P works. Rather than everyone getting their own unicast stream, P2P works by taking one stream into each subnet and then using the buffer region in HTML5 video to enable everyone to view that one stream. So it's like Napster for the internet. Our tool is an enterprise software peer-to-peer distribution technology for video. We work for both live and on-demand video, and effectively you can deliver one stream to each subnet and then everyone shares that stream. One of the things we're able to do, you can do it via two ways. You can do it via WebRTC, or you can do it via an install client. One of the things about having an install client on each of the endpoints is that we're able to receive detailed statistics on the viewer experience from each of the desktop and each of the devices and present that data in a very easy to use and understand format so that you can see, okay, where are the problems in my network? What are any particular operating systems giving me problems? Are any particular browsers giving me problems? Where am I being able to deliver a good video experience or where I aren't able to be able to do it? And so we can give detailed performance data that can be drilled down all the way down to the individual user level. And one of the really nice things is you can do this end-to-end before you hold a live event or before you hold an event. You can silently test in the background to see what the end user experience is going to be without the involvement of your users. So obviously, most of our use cases and when we get pulled in as a CEO wants to do a town hall meeting, he wants to be able to broadcast in this video. He could do it at his last company. Why can't I do it now? And so Microsoft, we plug into Microsoft suite of video products, calls us and says, got a customer, they need to do a live webcast, they don't have faith that their network can hold it. Can you guys work with the customer to enable them to stream live via Skype meeting broadcast or Teams or another application? And what we can do is deploy, and they can actually see what their end user experience is going to be before the CEO gets up to give a webcast. They may have some particular networks that aren't going to work properly, but at least they can notify them in advance and let them know, hey, there's going to be an issue with video in your particular location, and try and find a solution before they actually start the live webcast. We have a WebRTC product as well that doesn't require an installation, and so it's based on WebRTC is deployed in many browsers, including Chrome and Firefox, and so this product works without having to install a client and on the end users and still takes advantage of that core peer-to-peer technology. And we've been working with Microsoft for a number of years now. We've been streaming via a plug-in to Skype. We're now one of the what I call enterprise CDN options that are available with Stream, which is Microsoft's new video product that is going to be the video engine for most of Microsoft's applications. And in terms of how we think we're well positioned to take advantage of this modularity thing is we plug into all the most common video platforms and webcasting platforms. So if you need to scale these applications within your enterprise, you don't just need to use Hive, for example, for Stream or Teams. You can also, if you love using On24 for webcasting and you want to use On24 to webcast internally, you can plug Hive into that tool as well and use Hive for your distribution there. As I was mentioning earlier, there's a white paper available from our website, which is hivestreaming.com/modularity, and you can grab a copy of that. And that's my presentation. If you have any follow-up questions or want to reach out to Hive, you can reach me at that email address. Does anyone have any questions? Sure. Sure.
Hold on, let me get you the mic so we can get this on the video.
Thank you. You mentioned that the peer-to-peer only worked within a single subnet. Is that correct?
No, no. It doesn't actually. What our peering software will do is determine the best place to get the video. And that will typically be within someone in the particular subnet who has pulled the video first. But if they haven't, they will also go to other subnets if that's better and more efficient than pulling it from the CDN or whatever that's that's distributing the video. So we've found is, we've had customers say, well, I thought Hive just worked within the subnet. Why am I finding that, Hive's pulling video from this other subnet over here? The reason will be is because there's a better connection and a better quality to pull it from there rather than pulling it off the CDN or the source. Mm. Sorry, does that require? I'm not quite sure. I could find that question out for you. Mm-hmm.
You stumped him. Good one. You should get another pair of headphones. Okay. Anybody else? No? Okay. Round of applause for Stephen then.
Thank you.